the ways to embrace death, right? So there are many different ways to embrace it. Actually, not that many, but various different ways to embrace it, right? And the first way to embrace it is contemplating on the infinite, right? Contemplating things that your mind cannot comprehend is something that the mind really is a threshold that the mind cannot comprehend, right? It's a part of existence that nobody has any fact, nobody can say for certain what's going to happen. You see what I'm saying? So let me keep reading because mortality, right? And so you feel that foretaste of death anytime you feel like, anytime you see something that you cannot put into words, right? Anytime you feel in awe, anytime there's something so vast and so incredible, like looking at the night sky, anytime something like that happens, it's almost like it's the experience of death, because death is you just cannot comprehend. So you're giving your mind a taste, a little taste of that place that you cannot comprehend. You know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying, okay? Just give me a few moments, right? A shadow of death, right? So it's too great to understand. This is what children often feel, and what happens when you feel the present moment, right? Like whenever you feel the present moment. Okay, people, I'm fucking up right now. All right, let me see. I already did this 3 times. I don't know how I'm struggling with this right now. It's empty, bearing of disruption. Right. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Okay. I got it. Right. It's too great to understand. Right. It's bearing no destruction. Right. Like whenever you think of the present moment, it's peaceful. There's no distraction in the present moment. Right. For example, like right now. Right. Right now, just notice your breath right now. Right. Let's do like a little exercise. Right. You notice your breath, and for 10 seconds, allow yourself not to feel better. Don't try to feel better. Right. Don't try to change how you feel. Don't try to feel a little bit better or a little bit worse. Just don't try to feel better for 10 seconds. Right? And what you notice, first of all, your shoulders relax, right? The experience of this moment becomes a little more intensified. There's not that much distraction. Your attention is in the here and now, and it's barren of distraction. That's what happened. How did you feel before you were alive? Did you feel any unhappiness? Did you feel any distractions? No, like that's what death is. It's very similar to the present moment. When you feel the present moment, your mind just shuts down, right? It's the mind that can't comprehend death, but it's your mind that just relaxes whenever you embrace the moment. It's an intimation of death. But then it's the mind that doesn't want to be present, because whenever you think about being present, you think about other things. You think about distractions, you think about the future, you think about the past, right? But whenever you're present, your mind just relaxes, right? And all of a sudden, everything around you becomes intensified. Very similar to when you have a death-like experience. Everything around you becomes intensified. Like when you almost die, everything around you, you just notice everything. Everybody remembers when Kobe died, right? Where they were, what they were doing. In that moment, you had an encounter with death in a weird way, because you're alive. Right? Whenever you have a death-like experience, your adrenaline rushes, your body, you feel every part of your body now. You feel your blood pumping, you hear things, you see people's faces, you're able to see how they feel more transparently, right? You're more present. You're not in your head anymore. You see what I'm saying? It's a foretaste and it's an intimation of what death is like. But the problem is that you can't really comprehend it, but you can sense it. You see, the mind tries to comprehend death. We're not here to comprehend it. We're here to sense it. It's visceral. That's why whenever you see something you can't comprehend it, but you're sensing it though. See what I'm saying? When you think about the vast universe, how big it is, you can't comprehend it, but you can sense it in you. You feel you feel like you feel infinity. Even when you think about infinity, when you were a child, you couldn't really comprehend it. You're like, I can't believe that's even there. When you think about space, when you think about physics, when you think about black holes taking up whole galaxies and universes, not universes, right? Whole galaxies, you can't really comprehend it, but you sort of bow at how vast it is. You feel how small you are. You can sense how small you really are. You all of a sudden go from this human to this little speckle in the universe. You're able to sort of, you have a sense of proportion of how big things are compared to you, as opposed to when you're distracted, you feel how great you are. You feel amplified. You feel immortal because you think you'll always have time until you're snapped out of it with a death-like experience. And you're like, oh my God, I could die one day. See what I'm saying? So whenever you think about things that are beyond your comprehension, things that are just, you just cannot fathom. And that's the fucked up part of being in this society, because we understand most things, right? Mystery as it was before. Remember when you couldn't comprehend the universe, when you couldn't understand what's outside, before we understood black holes, before we understood how expansive the universe was? It was just a complete barren land of mystery. And for some reason, it's like something to ponder about. And that's what our ancestors had. They had this window of infinity in front of them at night. They didn't have no light pollution. So they were able to see the universe, and they were able to comprehend and go beyond this present moment and just try to comprehend what's out there. That feeling of infinity, of what's vast, shrinks you down. It makes you feel, it allows you to really see, not feel, but to really see how small you are compared to this universe. Does that make sense? Because what tends to happen is when you think you have unlimited time, you tend to think that you're more special than you are. You tend to think that you're this unique thing. And as a result, you tend to separate yourself from all humans because you're different, you're unique. You know, everyone else could die, everyone else could get older, everyone else could have this and that, but I'm unique. That'll never happen to me. You know, but whenever you think about the infinity of time, it's like when you get older and you're like 40 or whatever, and then you see someone who looks like you when you were younger, and you're like, that's my version, you know? And so it's kind of when you think about the infinite, you're able to comprehend all of that. This is why when you take psychedelics, like for example, ayahuasca, right? Ayahuasca has a retrospective aspect to it. In other words, not a good idea to do that, right? But I even remember posting this on Reddit, where I saw a vision of past predators. I would see predators of the past. That's a vision. It was like wolves, right? I saw the vision like wolves, and I just thought of them like the predators of the past, right? And they told me how, man. Okay, let me go with that because I even made a Reddit post. Let me find it, right? Let me read it. I'll find it and then remind me to show you guys that, okay? But what they told me is that we're everywhere. We see everybody. I gotta read that. I'm sorry. I gotta, because it's just so crazy when I read that. No. It's different. It's ayahuasca is not a toad. That's different.
It's something similar though. It's like one just is. I think the toad is supposed to be like a little bit more stronger or something like that, or like a little bit more intense or something of the nature.
Yeah, I heard about that, but one second.
Yeah, it's MED something 05. I actually seen it because I watched Mike Tyson's podcast, How Box It. You know what I'm saying? He said it takes you to a real spiritual, like, you know what I'm saying, place. You know what I mean? He was talking about it. He was like, just it'll change your life, like, you know what I mean? Like just that instance. You know what I'm saying? It's like a venom from a toad. You know what I mean? It's the venom, it was like they dry it out and vaporize it. You know what I'm saying?
It's more intense than ayahuasca.
Yeah, something like that.
It's actually dangerous. You could die from it if you take the wrong.
Oh, here it is. Sorry. Here, sorry.
But the way Mike Tyson, he got me really wanting to try it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, Mike Tyson took that?
Yeah, he said it was the best. Like, he said it's like the ultimate spiritual.
And that's the thing, is that the spiritual is also part of the infinite. It's like, that's why a lot of people, when they take shrooms, they become transformed. It's because they've experienced the infinite. They gave their minds a taste of something that is beyond their comprehension. And you feel how, even when you take shrooms, you tend to see signs of other existences, of other people. And let me read it right now, right? Oh, I can't believe I found it, right? All right, so I said, like, when I take shrooms on high doses or even ayahuasca, there are times when I go into the past. This was like a year ago. I see the eyes of past predators. such as old wolves that slowly walk up to me and look at me in the eye. I then notice that the eyes that see me is the eyes that are seeing me, the past predators, are the eyes that see through me. They told me that once you let go of your ego, you can see yourself in others. You see the one that has always been there, but is being hidden of itself. I noticed something similar, where the beings tell me that when you see someone, they are seeing me through them. There are eyes everywhere. Everyone is being observed, not in a creepy way, but that awareness fills every space. Space is that awareness. I know this is insane when I said that. But when you take psychedelics high doses, you tend to see like patterns. It's weird. It's like everything converts. If you see the ground, you'll see some geometrical patterns. And there's like a party that tells you, it's almost like they're footprints of the people who existed before us, or even footprints of other dimensions of their existence. It's kind of like they're here, but that you just don't see it. So it's kind of like, that was fucking crazy. You know, it's kind of like, just thinking about it, it brings chills just thinking about it. You know, but thinking about that forces you to think of other existences. It forces you to see the afterlife, if there is, as something deeper than just your own death, as something deeper than just your own existence of just you leaving this earth. It forces you to give it like almost like a mythical, a very spiritual quality to it, right? And that sort of allows you to sort of rest on that infinite quality that I'm trying to talk about, which is the infinite. It just takes you away from this moment and just forces you to think about things that are bigger than yourself. And when you think about that, it lowers your ego. That's what spiritual people are. People who are thinking about something that transcends the moment. Does that make sense? It's crazy shit, isn't it, huh? It's creepy. I'm not gonna lie. Those predators creep me the hell out. So yeah, you see, I'm very slow with my seminars. It takes a while for me to get some momentum, right? So yeah, just this reality is all around us, but we're not aware of it because of our distraction, right? And again, that's why people take psychedelics, to give themselves a spiritual experience. When people think about spiritualism, it's not just being present, it's about transcending the mind. This is what we're talking about transcending the mind, thinking about the infinite, because your mind cannot really comprehend infinity. It just cannot. But you could try. And the part that tries isn't the mind itself. It's a part that's beyond the mind. You tap into your higher self whenever you think about the infinite. You feel different too. You even feel a little bit more at peace to some degree when you think about the infinite. That's why people give people who are dying psychedelics, they give them shrooms, because they're able to think about their own death from a more realistic perspective, which it isn't that scary, but fuck that, you know. Right? By the way, I'm not talking to you guys like I'm some like sage that has accepted it. Nah, man, I'll go down screaming and crying, right? But I'm just being honest, you know. But you know, I'm trying to work it out myself too, right? So yeah, it's too great to understand, right? So this helps you see our shortness, right? Remember the time you took shrooms and you saw people sitting, and then somebody took their place. Oh, okay, right? This helps you see the shortness of life whenever you think about the infinite. Because then when you think about infinity and how vast time is and how big the universe is, and then in comparison, you narrow your focus into this moment, you tend to see how not useless, not meaningless, but how serious you're taking things that you shouldn't be taking that serious. You see what I'm saying? You can see how wrong your perspective are with some things. When you think about death, you all of a sudden notice how you're thinking about your parents from the wrong perspective. You see them more as a temporary thing. They're temporary. You know, you see that they're gonna expire one day. You see that you're gonna expire one day, and that has to change the way you see things. And as a result, how you deal with them and treat them. Whenever you know that somebody's gonna die, your parents are gonna die, your mom's gonna die, you treat them with more tenderness. You treat your life, you see everything around you. When you see New York City, one day New York City is going to be taken over by nature. Trees are going to begin growing out of the buildings. You know, monkeys are going to begin living here. You know what I'm saying? Animals are going to begin taking, refuge in these places. And then you might have a completely different environment tailored to this kind of place, right? So it's kind of like thinking about that allows you to embrace the culture that we live in, not from a perspective of, I don't want to leave, but from a perspective of, this is going to go one day. Let me appreciate it, because one day is not going to be here. Two completely different mindsets. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you see the shortness of life, right? This happens when we take shrooms. What the hell is mean with shrooms? And take and return to the past or future, right? And again, this is why I want to read my notes, because I want to get ahead of myself. Contemplate the infinite through physics and other mind-expanding subjects. Right? So, but we're going to talk about other ways to do it. So contemplate the infinite through physics, reading about physics, reading about new discoveries in science, right? Another mind-expanding subjects that is the threshold of our minds. Remember the baby bird ayahuasca experience. All right, let me give you guys an example, right? So when I went to Colombia, I took ayahuasca and all that sort of stuff. So to be honest with you, seriously, like they're dinosaurs, by the way. Birds are dinosaurs. Because they have wings. Dinosaurs have wings. You really notice they're dinosaurs. So when you eat chickens, you're eating dinosaurs. Yeah, it tastes like So if you eat a T-Rex, it tastes like chicken, right? But you eat the wings too, pretty good. Korean chicken. No, I'm not saying that they use dinosaurs. But anyway, so I became a bird, right? And I saw myself as a little baby bird, and then I saw my mom as like a big bird, right? And she was like looking around, she's like, I don't know what she was doing. She was looking around, right? And then in that moment, I realized that that's my mom right there, right? And she is the most important thing for me, right? As opposed to when you look at that bird, when you look at those random ass birds, you just see them as birds, just birds. But to me, that was my mom. So it's kind of like experiencing the what's important to different animals is very mind expanding. You sort of come back and say, oh my God, it's like a completely different reality. It's like, this is important to me, but to an animal, it's like to a little bird, his mom is the most important thing. And then you look at that bird, the bird's mom, and you eat it like it's nothing. You just ate that bird's mom, dude. Like you ate that bird's mom. But that's not the point. The point is that that's a mind expansive experience. And I'm not telling you guys to take psychedelics. Please don't take, actually, I'm not going to say please, but, you can watch Joe Rogan and stuff like that. But that's an experience, right? And so, anyways, let's keep going, right? Or let me see. Or taking the beings through ayahuasca. Okay, that's another one, right? Jesus Christ. It's like, I should have just brought my own shaman. To talk to him, right? Like another mind action, right? Or even doing Kundalini yoga, or even doing breath work. Anything that's a completely, not drugs, not like cocaine, not heroin. I'm not talking about that, people. That's not mind expanding. I'm talking about like spiritual experiences, like learning how to meditate, being deeply in the moment. Like, for example, I practiced astral projection at one point, and I actually got out the body. I came back, but when you come back to the body, you're like, holy shit, this is a different reality. And because of that experience, it's almost like you give your, it's almost like, it's like another level. You're like, you know what, man, this ayahuasca blew it up. I made it in pill form, right? So, and yeah, I made it like a little pill form. And it was a good ayahuasca too, right? And that experience was more of an auditory experience where the beings, I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but like the beings were talking to me, and I would listen to them almost as though you're listening to your own voice, but times 10. It's like it had its own voice, had its own resonance. Like